Shadows of the Night, by Ryan Baker. It was a rainy night in the city, the kind that makes everything look like it's been painted in shades of gray. I was sitting in my dimly lit office, nursing a glass of bourbon that matched the color of my mood. That's when she walked in. Veronica St. Clair, a dame with legs that seemed to go on forever and eyes that held more secrets than the city itself. She begged me to find her missing brother, Victor St. Clair, a jazz musician who disappeared without a trace. The kind of case that can lead a man down dark alleys and into the heart of the city's underbelly. Little did I know, this missing persons case would take me into the supernatural realm. As I dug deeper, the trail led me to the smoky jazz clubs where Victor used to play. The jazz scene was a labyrinth of smoke and shadows, and I soon found myself tangled in a web of deceit and danger. It didn't take long before I crossed paths with the enigmatic Vincent Blackthorn, a vampire lord who ruled the city's supernatural underworld. He had a taste for power, jazz, and blood. Blackthorn offered me a deal. Find Victor and return him to the world above, and in return, he'd keep his fangs out of my neck. Reluctantly, I accepted the unholy alliance and continued my search. The city nights grew colder, and the howls of a creature in the distance signaled the arrival of another player in this deadly game. A werewolf named Gabriel Wolfsbane, a rogue and a loner, had his own interests in Victor's disappearance. He claimed Victor knew something about an ancient artifact that could tip the balance of power in the supernatural world. I found myself caught in a three-way dance between vampires, werewolves, and the cold-hearted streets of the city. Each step I took uncovered more secrets, and every clue brought me closer to the truth. But the closer I got, the more dangerous the game became. In the end, I discovered that Victor had stumbled upon an ancient prophecy, one that foretold of a chosen one who could either bring about the salvation or destruction of the supernatural world. The artifact was the key to unlocking this prophecy, and everyone, vampire and werewolf alike, wanted a piece of the action. As the rain continued to fall, I stood on the rooftop overlooking the city. The final confrontation awaited me in the heart of the supernatural underworld. In a world where shadows held more than just secrets, I had to navigate through the darkness to find the light. And in this city of eternal night, I was the one holding the match. The night was thick with tension as I made my way to the abandoned cathedral, the chosen meeting ground for the final showdown. The rain seemed to intensify, pounding on the cobblestone streets like a relentless drum, setting the rhythm for the impending chaos. Vincent Blackthorn, clad in a tailored black suit that seemed untouched by the rain, awaited me inside the cathedral. His piercing gaze betrayed centuries of experience and cunning. On the opposite side, Gabriel Wolfsbane, his fur drenched by the rain, stood with a primal intensity, his eyes glowing with a fierce determination. Victor, bound to a stone altar at the center of the cathedral, looked drained and weakened. The artifact, a mysterious amulet, dangled around his neck, its glow pulsating with an otherworldly energy. "You've played your part well, detective," Blackthorn sneered, his fangs barely hidden behind a sinister smile. "Now, hand over the artifact, and perhaps I'll let you live." Wolfsbane, on the other hand, growled menacingly, his eyes locked onto the amulet. "That artifact has the power to restore balance, detective. It cannot fall into the hands of the likes of him." I stood between the two supernatural beings, the tension in the air thick enough to cut with a knife. The truth about the prophecy and the fate of the supernatural world hung in the balance. I had to make a choice. I pulled the amulet from Victor's neck and held it up, catching the dim light of the cathedral. The artifact seemed to pulse in response to the conflict around it. "Let's make a deal," I spoke, my voice cutting through the tension. "I hand over the artifact, and you both promise to leave the city and its people out of your power struggles." Blackthorn and Wolfsbane exchanged a wary glance, considering the proposition. A moment later, they reluctantly nodded in agreement. As I tossed the amulet onto the altar, a blinding light enveloped the cathedral. A surge of energy swept through the air, and for a brief moment, it felt like the entire world held its breath. The artifact's power resonated with the prophecy, and the fate of the supernatural world was decided. When the light faded, Blackthorn and Wolfsbane were gone, leaving the cathedral silent and empty. Victor, freed from his restraints, stumbled towards me, weak but alive. "The city owes you a debt, detective," he whispered, gratitude in his eyes. I lit a cigarette, taking a drag as the rain continued to fall. "No debts in this city, pal, just shadows and stories." With that, I walked out of the cathedral, leaving the supernatural world behind me. The rain washed away the sins of the night, and as I disappeared into the darkness of the city, the echoes of jazz music played in the distance, a reminder that in the shadows, the night would always have its secrets. The end.
Greetings, esteemed adventurers and cosmic wonders. Today, as we stand at the crossroads of fantasy and science fiction, we invite you to partake in a noble quest. But before we embark on this enchanting journey, let us harness the power that lies at your fingertips. The like, subscribe, comment, and share buttons. These seemingly ordinary buttons hold the key to extraordinary feats. Behold the like button, a mere tap, yet a formidable spell of approval upon our content. Your likes are the elixirs that fortify our spirit and propel our channel to greater heights. Next, the subscribe button, a mystical key that unlocks the gates to our fantastical world. By subscribing, you become a revered member of our fellowship, ensuring you never miss a moment of our magical saga. Now enter the comment section, your personal parchment to inscribe your thoughts, feelings, and magical incantations. Your comments are the echoes of wisdom resonating through the enchanted forest of our community. And behold the share button, a celestial artifact that scatters the magic far and wide. Share the joy with fellow adventurers and cosmic wayfarers, so they too may join our noble quest. Ready yourselves, noble viewers, for the quest awaits. Wield your magical powers, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Together, let us forge this channel into a sanctuary of fantasy and a haven for science fiction aficionados. Gratitude, dear patrons, for being integral to our mystical sojourn. Until our paths converge once more, may your days be adorned with enchantment and your nights be filled with stardust. This is Ryan Baker, bidding you farewell from Fantasy Science Fiction Storynory. Remember to spread the magic,